Good evening. Welcome to the council meeting of October 1st, 2024 is called to order. Anyone in the audience with amplifying headphones, please raise your hand and we'll bring those to you. I'm not seeing any. Let's rise for the pledge, please. A pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. Donna, can you do a roll call, please?
I will. Councilmember Blush.
Here.
Councilmember Stearns. Councilmember Gilmore.
Here.
Marinesco.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Sherman. Here. Councilmember Sapp. Here. And Councilmember Gutierrez.
Here. Thank you, Donna. Council having late changes to the agenda. City manager?
No changes tonight, Mr.
All
Mayor.
right. Council have any board reports to share?
Yes, I do. On September 25th, I attended the Housing and Behavioral Health Advisory Board meeting. And there was some discussion around House Bill 1590, and they're requesting that we discuss maybe enacting that, have a discussion around it.
I think we're familiar with 1590. We talked about it in the past. It's a 1/10 of 1% sales tax for housing and homelessness, if I'm correct.
Yeah, multiple measures for affordable housing, absolutely. Yeah, we've talked a little bit about it in some of our budget presentations and it's timely. Councilmember Sapp, I intended on bringing that forward next week at the study session to at least give the council kind of the first blush at the, at some of the facts regarding the measure and what the opportunities are for council, how it could be utilized and for, I guess, further direction on how you'd like staff to proceed.
Sounds good. Right. Anyone else? All right. Are we ready for reading the consent agenda?
Yes.
All right. Donna, will you please read the consent agenda?
I will. Vouchers numbered 111-564 through 111-618 and EFT payment numbers 662 through 685 in the total amount of $397,303.18. We have one resolution, resolution number 1349-0924. A resolution of the Council of the City of Shelton, Washington, accepting the Civic Center exterior project as final and complete.
Thank you, Donna. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as read?
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve the consent agenda as read.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda as read. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? That motion carries. All right. The council invites the public to make comments on matters of city business. Comments shall be made to the entire council, not the individual council members. Please refrain from any personal or disrespectful remarks that create disruption of the meeting. If unreasonable disruptive conduct continues, you'll be asked to leave the meeting. Donna, do anyone signed up for public comment?
Yes, we do, Mr. Mayor. Our first speaker is Kathy McDowell.
Good evening, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, and Council. I love what they're doing with CODA, making it our district street. But, excuse my French, I hate the striping and the way they, what do you call it? Direct traffic. I know it's supposed to slow down traffic, but at night, can't see the stripes, can't see so that would probably be a good thing to redo that and make it brighter. But I'm a little dismayed that it came out like that, and I'm just hoping that people are parking on the wrong side of the street now, and it's making it hard for us to go up and down that street if we go up and down that street. So just want to mention that I think that I've talked to some other people and they're a little dismayed with it also. But at least if the stripes could be brighter at night, they're hard to see at night. And that would be a start. Thanks.
Thank you, Kathy.
Okay, next we have Susan Kirchhoff.
Good evening, council members, mayor, city officials. My name is Susan Kirchhoff. I'm the founder of the Youth Connection. As you know, we have drop-in centers both here and in Belfair, and we service young people from the ages of 12 to 24. It's interesting that you brought up House Bill 15, whatever that one there. I know the tax money is coming. One of the things that I wanted to point out from our vision and us is to completely provide a safe place that's inclusive of everyone in that age bracket that we serve. On a single night in 2023, there was over 34,703 unaccompanied youth counted as homeless. Between 2022 and 2023, the number of unaccompanied youth increased by 15%. These estimates indicate approximately 1 in 10 young people the ages of 18 to 24 will be homeless, and 1 in 30 youth ages 13 to 17 will experience homelessness each year. Our highest growing concern for us is the area of youth between 16 and 18. We've seen an exponential increase in this, and we are struggling to find a place for these young people to not be victimized. And I'm going to just say it's not pretty what we hear them telling us that they're doing to find a place to sleep. At some point, I would hope that we could create such a place as that. So as you're looking at that money, maybe that's an option. There are places called Hope Homes. We are willing as the Youth Connection to hopefully do something on that lines. That is in our 2 to 5 year goal. We are working to create a solution-focused system within our whole homeless response system by taking a stand to do things that are a little different and trying to encourage cooperation versus blame. As with our Providing Party with a Purpose, which has changed the way outreach is happening, we are in the process of actually working more as a system than an individual programs individually. One of the things I would like to encourage is all men who are able to come to our men's mental health awareness breakfast that we're hosting October 12th at the Youth Connection to really bring awareness that not only that people need to have some sort of relaxation. As you're reviewing what you could do, just think about that. That might be a help for that population and our homeless. Thanks so much.
And Mr. Mayor, we also have Bill Scholl, but he would like to speak after the proclamation.
Okay.
And there is no one on Zoom that has their hand raised, so that is it.
All right. We have one presentation this evening, a proclamation of the White Cane Awareness Day, and Miguel Gutierrez, council member, is going to read that for us.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is the City of Shelton's White Cane Awareness Day proclamation. Whereas the white cane, which every blind citizen of Shelton, Washington, has the right to carry, demonstrates and symbolizes the ability to achieve a full and independent life and the capacity to work productively in competitive employment. And whereas the white cane, by allowing every blind person to move freely and safely from place to place, makes it possible for the blind to fully participate in and contribute to our society and to the life that they want. And whereas every citizen should be aware that the law requires that motorists and cyclists exercise appropriate caution when approaching a blind person carrying a white cane. And whereas Washington state law also calls upon employers, both public and private, to be aware of and utilize the employment skills of our blind citizens by recognizing their worth as individuals and their productive capacities. And now therefore, the city of Shelton does hereby proclaim October 15th, 2024 as the White Cane Awareness Day in the city of Shelton. Should it be signed on this day, August, first day of October 2024 by Mr. Maronisco.
Thank you. Bill, you want to say some words?
Thank you very much for the opportunity to give you a little bit of history on the White Cane. Mr. Mayor and council members, I appreciate your proclamation of making October 15th the official White Cane Awareness Day in Shelton, Washington. The idea, the concept of White cane was began in France in the early 1900s. And eventually the concept, the idea came to America. 1935, a Lion member in Chicago watched a blinded street corner vendor maneuver across a busy street with a dark cane. And he thought to himself, would it not be better to paint that cane white and so that vehicles would be able to see them better? So he took it upon himself and the club, and they painted this vendor's cane white. A few months later, the same Lions Club approached the council, the city of Chicago, and got an ordinance passed that would ask motorists to become aware and give the right of way to somebody using a white cane. A little bit later, the cane, after World War II, the cane was developed with a red tip that would identify that person as a visually impaired person. That then all around the United States, the different states became aware of the white cane and initiated the right of way for folks, individuals that were using a white cane on any part of the road. Simply because sometimes we don't always use a crosswalk. Then in 1964, President Lyndon Johnson declared the first White Cane Awareness Day. Each president since has declared October 15th as White Cane Awareness Day. I like to call it White Cane Safety Day. Simply because when I use this, I feel much safer, not only walking on the streets, but and using this cane in local buildings. By the way, there are very different canes. This particular cane is called an indoor cane, simply because it's shorter. I don't have to have it quite as far out and trip people with it. Then I have a longer cane I use out on the road. Now, that's the history of the white cane. But I would like to bring to your attention a grassroots movement that is happening throughout the United States and even up into Alaska. And this grassroots movement is a presentation to elementary students on how and why individuals use a white cane. The name of it's being presented through a book, a children's book that is called Grandpa's White Cane. This book has been presented here to all of your third grade students in the Shelton area. Well, maybe not all, South Side, all of Shelton and Pioneer. I understand there's some that I have missed. Anyway, you got it. Oh, you got my bag. Would you, I would, share with each one of you a paperback version of this book. And I would encourage you to share it with your children, your grandchildren, and possibly your great-grandchildren. This book has gone into many other countries. And if you would like to become involved with this grassroots project, I would ask that you contact the city clerk and she will share my contact information with you. Thank you for this opportunity. And in the audience, if you would like one of these wonderful little books, please take one and share. Got it, Kathy? My helper here. She seems to know her way around this place. I don't know. All right, I will sit.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
You bet. Thank you.
Right. The only item on the business agenda pertains to a bid update on water meter upgrade installations. Capital project Aaron Nix has details for us.
Thank you. Apologize. Aaron Nix, Capital Projects Manager for the city. Thank you, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, Council. I come before you, a project that we've been spending a lot of time and resources on, and something that the city has been planning on for some time now. This project has actually been going on for a couple of years, and there's reasons why it hasn't proceeded. If these events didn't occur, the project probably would have been done already. So part of the issues, and this is systemic wide, this is throughout the state. There's been a chip shortage due to COVID, as well as COVID itself, basically put a hold on us procuring and purchasing this equipment. So fortunately, we were able to get about a $900,000 grant that helped us purchase. The council at that time, a couple of years ago, gave us the okay to proceed with purchasing new meters, boxes, because our current ones are 20+ years old and they need to be replaced. DOH, Department of Health, has very strict requirements with regard to ensuring that we are watching how much water we're using, as well as conservation and those kinds of things. So this is an important project for us. The current meters have met their useful life, and they need to be replaced. This is not something very specific just to our city. I will give you some examples, such as I've been in contact with the city of Bellevue, and they are replacing approximately 30,000 water meters. That is about a 10-fold amount compared to what we're doing. We're only going to do about 3,200. So I wanted to make you aware of that. To date, we've spent about $1.8 million on all of the new meters, new boxes, new setters. Our intention with this contract is we are going to be supplying all the materials, asking the contractor to just use their skills to get the stuff installed. And so that's what's moving forward. 1.8 for all the associated hardware and the things that we need in order to proceed with this. We did have a bid opening on September 18th. We got a wide range. I will tell you that the bidding environment is getting better. We had 9 people submit bids, and the range is significant. It went from $948,000 to $2.5 million. So I am not ready to come forward and offer anything with regard to how we're gonna award this or who we're gonna award this to. This will come at your October 15th meeting. My intent here is just to kind of educate you a little bit more about this. Again, this has been something that we have been trying to get done, and fortunately now we can procure this. I will tell you that there are several other, like I mentioned, Richland and Bellevue. I've had discussions. We kind of learned from their mistakes and include that within our specifications. Very specific instructions to help protect the city, and our hope is to limit any change orders or anything else. So if there's any questions, please ask. Thank you.
All right, do we have a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I move to place the water meter replacement project onto the action agenda of the October 15th, 2024 council meeting for further consideration.
All right, comments or questions?
How many meters have we installed over the past couple of years?
There's been about 300 to 400 that we have installed. For this particular contract, what we're asking is to install meters from 3/4 inch up to 2 inch. We do have some bigger ones. We will deal with that a little bit later. It's a little bit different animal when you get into these bigger meters because they're in vaults and it's a lot more expensive. So we have about 100 of those. So after we install these, we only have about 100 left to finish the project.
I just remember 2 years ago, we started and we're doing it incrementally, but we got so busy and slammed and we get right out of chips and now we're just trying to finish this. So thank you very much for moving forward.
Right, and again, how much of this was grant money?
About 900,000. Again, we've expended about 1.8, and we need whatever we end up with the bid. About 3+ million total for the project. Understanding that, again, if you're a Richland or a Bellevue, it is 10 times that.
Any other questions? All right, we have a motion and a second to place the water meter upgrade installation project bid update on October 15th, 2024 council meeting. Action agenda for the consideration. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? That motion carries. There are no action items, so we'll move on to the city manager report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, council. I think today there might be some cleanup being done, but we have some newly paved streets up on Capitol Hill. So Fogarty, Poplar, Fir, and Otter all received some new asphalt this week in conjunction with our partnership with folks at Mason County Public Works. I'll tell you, this is essentially a construction project our Public Works crews has taken on to create the road bed necessary for this paving project. And these are projects that aren't taken on normally by municipalities, especially municipalities this size. So we're quite proud of our staff and their abilities to provide this level of service to these residents up on Capitol Hill that were living on dirt and gravel roads for quite some time. We also want to recognize and pay attention that this is solely possible by the funds generated through the Transportation Benefit District. I know we'll talk more about that here in an upcoming study session in November, but it's important that that's being recognized, that these projects are supported by that voter initiative that was passed back in 2016. We're working on a tour after the award ceremony from Department of Ecology a couple weeks ago for our treatment plant operation. So we're working on scheduling tours for council, so you can go out and see the operations at the treatment plants. I'll have that to you fairly soon with a possible date. Last week we had our legislative meeting. Unfortunately, only Senator McEwen was able to attend, but I think it was very productive. We're formulating that legislative agenda. We'll refine that as we move forward and bring that to the council in the coming weeks. So we have a complete package that we can then forward to not only Senator McEwen, but Representatives Couture and Griffey as well for the upcoming legislative session in 2025. As those of you that were at the meeting and those of you that received the packet, water infrastructure is a priority for us here in the city. It is our biggest need, and that's storage, particularly storage of water. to meet current code, and meet the demand that we're seeing for future development. Part of that future development, is what we anticipate the Olympic Heights subdivision that's just above Olympic College off Alpine Way. They should be starting next week is what we're hearing from them. So there's a pre-construction meeting this week. We should see them mobilize as early as next week to start some preliminary grading and grubbing of that property. So we've been talking about it for some time. We'll actually see some equipment moving around on that property here in the near future. We're continuing to have conversations with them, reviewing their civil plans for all the public infrastructure that would go in place prior to going vertical and building residential structures. So looking forward to facilitating that project. The state auditor provided an entrance meeting this week. Mayor Nisco attended. It's kind of a little more than a formality, but a bit of a formality just to introduce themselves, enter into the audit that is starting officially now. They will look at not only the city, but the Metropolitan Park District as well. They're focusing on payroll, procurement, and public works projects. So they'll go back and make sure that we're meeting not only our policies, but state law, best practices, our self-insurance programs, which is primarily unemployment, Open Public Meetings Act. Again, that involves the council. And then our fiscal condition, our financial condition, if there's any indications of financial distress within the city, and we don't anticipate to have any problems. Quite proud of the regular positive audits that we receive due to the work by all of our staff, but led by our financial services department at the same time. So we should see a final report here in the next couple months. The good thing is with the hard work that our staff are putting in, it saves us some money. Their anticipated cost just for the city of Shelton for this audit is $53,000. If we have all our proverbial ducks in a row, it means it's a little less time for them spent on that audit, which means they bill us a little less. So we save a little bit of money. So we do the right work up front, save some money on the back end. So we'll have more information for you coming up. And the last thing I have for you tonight, I know I mentioned to council how we can continue to offer public participation through a virtual environment. We've done some research, looked at other communities, and I think we have a plan to bring forward to the council that would still allow the public to participate virtually, provide comment on agenda items and public comment with reducing some of the threats that we have that we saw a couple weeks ago. What we're proposing as staff is to continue using the Zoom platform. Individuals that wanted to participate within the meeting, provide comment, would register beforehand on the city's website. We'd have a form, fairly simple, name, information. You would be forwarded a Zoom link from the city clerk's office. That Zoom link would get you into that meeting. You would register with your name and the name you put on that form. Specifically, it couldn't deviate from that, or you would not be led into the Zoom meeting. At that time, the agenda item would come forward. You'd be recognized, you'd be muted by the clerk's office, be able to provide public comment, and then we would exit you from the meeting. You could watch the meeting beforehand and afterhand on the YouTube channel, the city's YouTube channel, and still be able to view the rest of the meeting. We feel this is it continues the transparency that we want for our council meetings, continues the opportunity for public comment from those that can't make it here. We need to accommodate those individuals that can't make it here. Certainly, there's different ways to do that, but we believe this still allows that flexibility for voices to be heard in front of the council at all times. So with that, we hope to institute this starting October 15th. The next regular council meeting, and we'll advertise this publicly and make sure that individuals have the opportunity to register online and find that information before the meeting. So I'm happy to provide any further context on that if any of the council members wish.
Any questions on that?
This is a great question. It's not specifically in our protocol manual. We don't have a specific policy to that. I want to add that to our protocol manual at some point, just so we just so we make it official and have something to fall back on. But since there isn't anything here at this point, it doesn't change doesn't dramatically change, I guess, how that participation is being carried out. I'm comfortable moving forward if the council's comfortable at this point.
Any other
Thank you.
comments or
Appreciate
questions for the city manager?
Live that moment.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great idea. Strategy that. Make sure it doesn't happen again.
We'll make sure we're flexible enough that if times change, we'll be able to change with that in the future as well. And be able to ensure that your business meetings aren't being interrupted unduly.
Thank you. Any new items for discussion? I would just like to offer our thoughts and prayers to the states and people affected by Hurricane Helene. It's been one of the most horrific storms, I believe, that we've seen in our lifetimes, and I just wish everybody the best over there. So, all right. Our next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, October 15th, 2024 at 6 p.m. We also have a study session October 8th at 6 p.m. This meeting is